Have you ever felt like you don't fit in, no matter how hard you try? Maybe people misunderstand you, friends leave without reason, or you face constant struggles that others don't seem to go through. It might feel like life is unfair, but what if I told you this is a sign that you are special? That Allah, peace be upon him, has chosen you for a greater purpose? When Allah chooses someone, He tests them. Your struggles aren't punishments. They are part of your preparation. The light in your heart, your kindness, your faith, these qualities can make others uncomfortable because your soul carries something they don't understand. But don't let rejection or hardship break you. Instead, see it as a sign that you're on a path designed by Allah. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful lessons that will help you understand your purpose as a chosen one, and why your journey, no matter how difficult, is leading you to something extraordinary. Lesson 1. Allah chooses whom He wills. You are not chosen by accident. Allah carefully selects certain people for a higher purpose, and His choice is never random. When you feel different from others, when life throws challenge after challenge your way, it's not a sign of rejection. It's a sign of divine selection. You are being prepared for something extraordinary, something that only your soul was designed to carry. Think about the lives of the prophets. Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, was chosen to free the Israelites. But before he could lead, he was tested with exile, fear, and even self-doubt. He wandered the desert for years, unaware that Allah was shaping him into a leader. Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, had a dream of greatness as a child, but he was betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a well, sold into slavery, and imprisoned, all before he rose to power and saved an entire nation from famine. And of course, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the most beloved of creation, faced unimaginable loss, persecution, and heartbreak before he completed his mission as the seal of the prophets. Allah tells us in the Quran, Allah chooses from the angels, messengers, and from the people. Allah is hearing and seeing. Quran 22:75. If you feel like life is harder for you than those around you, if people misunderstand you or walk away from you, know this: you are not being punished, you are being purified. Allah only tests the strongest souls because they are capable of carrying the heaviest burdens. Every difficulty, every rejection, and every lonely night is part of your transformation. The pain you feel is not pointless. It's a divine tool shaping you into the person you were always meant to become. The next time you feel broken, remind yourself, I am chosen by Allah. And if the Creator of the heavens and the earth has chosen you, who can possibly stand against you? Lesson 2. Isolation is part of the process. Feeling lonely or disconnected from people can be painful, but in reality, it's often a sign that Allah is preparing you for something greater. When Allah chooses someone for a special purpose, He sometimes removes them from certain people or situations to protect their soul and strengthen their connection with Him. This isolation isn't a punishment, it's a phase of spiritual growth. When you are alone, you have fewer distractions, and your heart becomes more sensitive to Allah's guidance. Think about the lives of the prophets. Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, spent years in the desert tending sheep after fleeing Egypt. It was during this quiet time that he developed the strength and patience he needed to lead his people out of oppression. Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, was thrown into prison for years, yet that period of isolation refined his character and deepened his wisdom. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would retreat to the cave of Hira, where he spent nights in solitude, reflecting and worshiping, until Allah revealed the first verses of the Quran to him. Allah reminds us in the Quran, and be patient, for indeed, Allah does not allow to be lost the reward of those who do good. Quran 11:115. If you feel like people are distancing themselves from you, or if life feels lonely, try to see this as an opportunity to grow. Use your time in isolation to build a stronger relationship with Allah. Reflect on your purpose and work on becoming the best version of yourself. The pain of loneliness can be heavy, but it often leads to a deeper understanding of your soul. And remember, this season of isolation won't last forever. It's just one part of your journey. When the time is right, Allah will surround you with the right people and open the right doors. Until then, embrace this quiet time, because it's in these moments that Allah is closest to you. Lesson 3. They will fear your light when Allah places a special light within you. Not everyone will be able to handle it. Your faith, your strength, and the way you carry yourself with sincerity might make others uncomfortable. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your light exposes their shadows. When people see you striving to get closer to Allah, it reminds them of what they may be neglecting in their own lives. And sometimes that reflection is hard to face. This is why chosen people often face rejection, envy, or criticism. Even the prophets, the most beloved to Allah, experienced this. Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, was met with resistance from Pharaoh, who feared losing his power. Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, his own brothers cast him into a well out of jealousy for the love and favor Allah had given him. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was insulted and attacked by his own tribe simply because he brought the truth. The brighter your light, the more it can disturb those who choose to stay in darkness. Allah reminds us in the Quran, "Indeed, those who disbelieve spend their wealth to avert people from the way of Allah. So they will spend it, then it will be for them a source of regret, then they will be overcome." Quran 8:36. If people misunderstand you, try to dim your light, or make you feel small for being on the path of truth, do not let that discourage you. Your light comes from Allah, and no one can extinguish what He has placed within you. Instead of shrinking to make others comfortable, stand firm in your faith. Let your kindness, patience, and unwavering belief shine even brighter. The ones who are meant to benefit from your light will be guided toward you, and those who fear it will only distance themselves. But either way, you stay connected to Allah, and that connection is the source of your true power. Lesson 4. Your faith is your superpower. Your faith in Allah is the most powerful gift you have. It's like a hidden strength that carries you through the hardest times. Faith gives you hope when everything seems lost, courage when you feel scared, and patience when life feels too heavy to bear. This connection to Allah is not just belief. It's a source of endless strength that helps you face every challenge, no matter how impossible it seems. When life gets difficult and people let you down, your faith will hold you up. Think of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. When he was thrown into a blazing fire for rejecting false gods and worshiping only Allah, he stayed calm. He didn't panic or doubt for a second, and because of his unshakable trust, Allah made the fire cool and harmless for him. Or remember Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, standing at the edge of the Red Sea, with Pharaoh's army chasing after him. It looked like there was no way out, but Musa had complete faith in Allah's help. And because of that faith, Allah split the sea, creating a path to safety. Even Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the most beloved of Allah, went through immense pain. He lost family members, was insulted and attacked, and faced years of hardship. But he never lost hope, because his heart was full of trust in Allah's mercy and wisdom. He taught us that even in the darkest moments, Allah's help is closer than we think. Allah promises in the Quran, "Indeed, Allah is with those who fear Him and those who are doers of good." Quran 16:128. Faith is not just about praying or reading Quran. It's about truly believing deep in your heart that Allah is always with you. When you make dua, you are speaking directly to the Creator of the universe. When you pray, you are wrapping yourself in Allah's peace and protection. And when you trust Allah's plan, even when you don't understand it, you walk through life with confidence, knowing that everything happening to you is for your growth and benefit. Your faith makes you powerful because it connects you to the most powerful. No matter what the world throws at you, as long as you have faith, you are never truly defeated. So when life knocks you down, let your faith lift you up. When people doubt you, let your faith remind you of your worth. And when you feel like giving up, remember that Allah never abandons the believers. As long as you hold on to your faith, you have everything you need to keep going. And with Allah on your side, victory is always near. Lesson 5. Attacks only mean you're close to victory. When your life feels like it's falling apart and it seems like hardship is hitting you from every direction, don't lose hope. In fact, this might be a sign that you're on the verge of a breakthrough. The closer you get to fulfilling your purpose, the more intense the challenges can become. Shaitan, Satan, doesn't waste his energy on those who are lost. He focuses on attacking those who are getting closer to Allah. The stronger your faith, the harder he tries to shake you, because he fears the impact of a believer who refuses to give up. This is a pattern we see again and again in the stories of the prophets and righteous people. Right before victory, they often face their hardest trials. It's like a final test, one that refines their faith and strengthens their hearts, so they are ready for the blessings Allah is about to give them. Think of Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. After years of struggle against Pharaoh, he finally led the children of Israel to freedom. But just when they thought they were safe, they found themselves trapped between the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army. Imagine the fear they must have felt in that moment. It seemed like there was no way out. But this wasn't the end, it was the turning point. Allah, peace be upon him, split the sea, creating a path to safety and drowning Pharaoh's army behind them. The moment of greatest danger turned into the moment of their greatest victory. Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, went through betrayal by his brothers, was sold into slavery, and then falsely accused and thrown into prison. It would have been easy for him to lose hope, but he remained patient and kept his faith in Allah. After years of hardship, Allah raised him to a position of honor. He became a minister and was able to save not only Egypt, but also his own family from starvation. The prison was not the end of Yusuf's story, it was just a chapter leading to his success. Even Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the most beloved of Allah, faced relentless hardship. His enemies insulted him, plotted against him, and forced him and his followers into years of poverty and starvation during the boycott in Mecca. Yet he remained steadfast. After years of struggle, he returned to Mecca not as a victim, but as a victorious leader who conquered the city with mercy and forgiveness. Allah tells us in the Quran, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease." Quran 94:6. This verse is a promise. It means that for every difficulty you endure, there is relief on the other side. Not just any relief, but an ease that makes the struggle worth it. The harder the test, the greater the reward. And sometimes the attacks intensify not because you're failing, but because you're winning. The enemy can sense your growth, and he wants to stop you before you reach your full potential. Think about it. If you weren't destined for something great, why would the attacks come? Why would people try to break you down? Or why would negative thoughts suddenly flood your mind? It's because your light is growing, and that light threatens darkness. Shaitan wants to dim that light, but he only has power if you give up. If you keep going, despite the attacks, you strip him of his influence over you. When you feel overwhelmed, instead of giving in to despair, use it as motivation to push harder in your faith. Increase your salah, cry out to Allah in dua, and seek strength through the Quran. Remember that every hardship is a chance to earn more reward, to elevate your status with Allah, and to purify your heart. The pain you feel is not pointless. It's preparing you for the blessing that's coming. Imagine a seed buried in the dirt. It's in darkness, surrounded by pressure, and completely unseen. But under the surface, it's growing roots. And one day it breaks through the soil and reaches toward the sun, blooming into something beautiful. Your hardships are like that darkness and pressure. They are pushing you to grow in ways you can't even see yet. But when the time is right, you'll break through and all the pain will make sense. When the attacks come, don't let them break you. Let them remind you of how close you are to your victory. Let them be a sign that you are on the right path and that something amazing is waiting for you on the other side. Hold tight to your faith because the victory written for you by Allah is far greater than anything the enemy can throw your way. And when you finally step into that victory, you'll look back at the struggle and realize it was all worth it. Lesson 6. You were born to lead. If you've ever felt different from others, like you don't quite fit in, like your heart is drawn to something bigger, it's not a coincidence. It's a sign that Allah has placed something special inside you. Chosen ones are not like everyone else because they were never meant to be. They are born to lead, to inspire, and to guide people toward truth, even when the path is difficult. Leadership in Islam isn't about power or status. It's about responsibility. It means carrying the weight of truth, even when it's heavy. It means standing firm in your values, even when you stand alone. Look at the lives of the prophets. They weren't given easy lives. They were tested with immense struggles because Allah was shaping them into the strongest, most resilient leaders for their people. Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was called the friend of Allah, but his life was filled with trials. He was thrown into a fire, ordered to leave his family in the desert, and tested with the command to sacrifice his son. Yet through every test, he submitted to Allah's will. And because of his unwavering faith, he became a leader for generations to come. The father of prophets and a symbol of pure monotheism. Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, grew up in the palace of Pharaoh, only to become the one who would lead his people out of Pharaoh's oppression. He doubted himself, feeling unworthy of the mission, even asking Allah to send someone else. But Allah reminded him that he had been chosen, and I have chosen you for myself. Quran 20:41. Even Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy, before he received revelation. His character and integrity made him a natural leader, but his mission to spread Islam brought intense hardship. Yet he never gave up, leading with mercy and patience until Islam spread across the world. Being chosen to lead doesn't mean life will be easy. In fact, it often means the opposite. Leaders carry a burden. They face more attacks, more tests, and more loneliness because they are walking a path that many people are afraid to take. But the struggles are part of the preparation. Every hardship is refining your character, building your strength, and teaching you the lessons you'll need to guide others. Allah tells us in the Quran, "And we made from among them leaders guiding by our command when they were patient and when they were certain of our signs." Quran 32:24. True leadership comes from patience and certainty in Allah. It's about staying grounded in your faith, even when people criticize or abandon you. It's about leading with humility and kindness, knowing that every success comes from Allah alone. You might not feel ready to lead, and that's okay. Most of the greatest leaders in Islam felt the same way at first. But Allah doesn't choose people based on their confidence or skills. He chooses them based on the sincerity of their hearts. If you keep turning to Him, seeking His guidance and striving to do what's right, He will strengthen you and place barakah, blessing, in your efforts. So if life feels heavy right now, if you feel isolated or misunderstood, know that it's not a punishment, it's preparation. Allah is molding you into someone who can carry the light of Islam into the world. You were born to lead, not for your own glory, but to be a beacon for others, showing them the way back to Allah. And when you embrace that purpose, you'll realize that every hardship, every tear, and every sacrifice was shaping you into exactly who you were meant to be. You are not here by accident. Every hardship, every tear, every moment of doubt, it all has a purpose. Allah doesn't choose people randomly. He chooses those with hearts that can carry His light, those who can rise above their struggles and become a source of hope for others. If you felt lost, misunderstood, or overwhelmed, know that you are on the path of the chosen. The world may not understand your journey, but that's because your path is divinely crafted by Allah. You weren't made to fit in. You were made to lead. And even when people fear your light, even when the tests feel endless, remember, Allah is with you. So embrace your calling, walk your path with courage, and never forget, the trials of this world are temporary, but the reward with Allah is eternal. You are far more powerful than you realize because your strength comes from the one who created you. You are chosen, you are powerful, and the world needs your light. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's remind each other of the strength that lies within us and of the infinite mercy and wisdom of Allah. Until next time, stay strong, stay faithful, and keep shining. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.